Curtis, the Artistic Mom. I'm bringing you today's Artistic Mom moment. Today's moment is focused on struggling with anxiety and depression and the reality that we have choice in it. Now this can be either a liberating thing or a damning thing, that it can be something that causes us a lot of fear or a lot of faith, because if we believe that we have choice, then we beat up ourselves. Why did I choose to be depressed? Why am I choosing to do this to my kids? Why am I choosing to show up this way for my husband? Or it can be faith-filled in that I have chosen where I'm at, and I can choose differently. And with faith in God, I can trust Him to be able to lead me to the solutions and the answers that will make it so I can live my life and fulfill my purpose, not just in a sedated reality where you're drugging yourself to try to just be able to put on your happy face and show up in life and not flip out at anybody, but to be able to live your life from the plane of making powerful choices that empower you to live in your brilliance and to recognize bliss in your day. So with that, I want to share a little bit of my experience with this. I wasn't even able to face this fact that I had a choice. Like deep down I always knew I had a choice, but I kept telling myself the story that even though I had that choice, the illness made it so I couldn't choose differently. And so I would just kept staying in this pattern of negative choices and behavior in so much that I just kept being led farther and farther down the trail to depression and anxiety until I had a nervous breakdown and was pumped full of tons of medication to try to force my body out of this. And I lived for about a month in a catatonic state, or near catatonic state, where I was just a shell of myself. And after this experience, I realized that I had to choose differently. There is no way that I could live my dreams if I was being held captive by believing that I was a slave to bipolar disorder and anxiety and depression. And so I started educating myself. I found the National Alliance for Mentally Ill. I started attending their support groups and educating myself on mental illness and tools and tactics that you can use to be more empowered in your illness, to not be a victim of it. And I would recommend that so strongly to anybody that's struggling. They have support groups not only for if you yourself are struggling, but also for if you have family members that are close to you that are struggling with a mental illness. And so it will just empower your life in a million ways. So the thing that was so interesting to me in their group is that we had people from all walks of life. People with schizophrenia, people with severe depression and anxiety, people who had been hospitalized because of being psychotic, people that had been in prison because of choices they had made while being psychotic. And all these walks of life all came together and agreed on one thing, that there was always a point of choice before they went into psychosis, total depression, crazy anxiety, whatever it was. There was always a point of choice where they knew they could choose into the fear, that they're a victim and act out of that, or they could choose faith and choose something that would empower and uplift them. And I just found that fascinating. I thought that, surely somebody with an even more severe illness couldn't choose, their choices. But in reality, there is always choice. Now, the degree of what you're able to choose is different for every person, because the ability to choose depends on our tools that we give ourselves and how empowered we are with being able to access techniques and skills, support networks, and whatever else that can help you to be able to get out of that and choose differently. And so I would encourage you for the next 24 hours or whatever it is, if you're someone that struggles with depression, anxiety, or whatever, that I want you to recognize the point of choice. That if your kids are setting you off and you're starting to feel that sinking feeling that you are just retreating inside of your mind and trying to shut out the world, and you're gonna act out, you're gonna scream at your kids, or you're going to slam the doors, make a big fuss, whatever it is, recognize the point of choice and just being able to see that point, have faith that you can choose out of it, that you can choose something differently, and that God wants to help you choose this, but you have to invite him in to help you. And I know last night I was super depressed. I've been very depressed for the past few days, and it's just ironic because I'm talking about it more, and so it's like it's making it more of a reality again. But finally, last night, I just had it, was cranky. I made a horrible dinner for my family. I think because I was just fed up with life and just it got put into the meal. It was so gross. And I'm usually someone that can cook pretty decent. So after this horrible meal, I just said, okay, I've got to go. I grabbed the keys, hopped in the car. My husband stayed with the kids, and I left and went grocery shopping. But it was just that change in scenery, being able to choose that instead of egging at my husband, yelling at him, yelling at the kids, throwing stuff, you know, getting so frustrated, going and finding a secret stash of candy and just binging until I was so sick that I had to stop. You know, all those things that I could instead just choose. I'm removing myself from all of these triggers. I'm going to go and choose something uplifting. So right away I put in my iPhone and plugged it up to listen to some podcasts that I have that are very uplifting, like Marianne Williamson's Daily Miracle Thought. I love that podcast. And so I plugged that in, and for the first like hour of driving, or half hour, it just did not even sink in. In fact, it was making me more mad. And so then I unplugged it and just tried to find stillness in my mind. And with that stillness came peace. And then God could be let in. And he came and he rushed in, and with that I was able to find peace and reconnect to the truth of who I am and whose I am, and then be able to come home and be with my family in the way that I want to show up for them, in standing in my brilliance with them instead of my darkness. And so just recognizing that point is such a powerful tool, and so I'll challenge you to do that. I would love to hear about your experiences, and leave it in the comments, and I wish you nothing but love and light as you seek this journey. And my heart just reaches out to you because I know the pain, and I know the madness, and how alone you can feel, and how devastating it is. And if you have family that are suffering with this, how devastating it can be to watch them and to feel so helpless in being able to help them. So just, you know, we'll keep talking about this in my videos, and I'll keep handing you tools and techniques that can help you find more light in your life. And just know that I love you, and that I care about you where you're at, and I want you to find light and peace and truth, and to have the skills to be able to choose differently and experience results that are more peaceful and joyful and just happy in your life. And it is possible. And so I'll leave you with my love, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.